Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes and positivity, sending blessings and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we are talking Love Island UK Season 10, and I need to ask the question, is Molly a production plant, you guys? Is she a production plant? Because the pictures are resurfacing of her previously being on set of Love Island, whether it was as an assistant of some sort, and it was giving Olivia flashbacks to season 9, where, remember Olivia, she applied on the show multiple times and was doing little guest and promo spots for the show, but never made the show until last year. And remember, the fans had got sick of her at one point because they felt that she was doing too much, and production kept her in for as long as possible, for as long as they could, you guys. And I feel like there are some similarities here with Molly, right? I would say the only difference is that it is very obvious that nobody in the villa really is messing with Molly, right? Nobody really genuinely likes her, except for really Zach and Mitch, right? But I think even he's getting tired of the foolishness because he keeps playing himself, right? But ultimately, why I say this is because there is something actually inherently wrong if nobody in the villa likes you. If nobody in the villa likes you, and here's the thing, we only see, what, 42 minutes of the show out of a 24-hour day, right? And sometimes they cram in like 36 to 48 hours into an episode. So we do not know what ultimately is going on at all times, right? All we know for what we're seeing, at least on the TV edit of things, is that everybody was upset with how Molly was moving, right? They were upset because when Zach was paired with Catherine, neither Zach or, Molly bothered to tell Catherine that they liked each other, and Catherine had to find out in the 11th hour from Tyreek, of all people, basically it was happening. That it was happening and Zach wasn't into her anymore, right? Because Zach was still lying to Catherine, every time they were going to bed and stuff, and telling her sweet nothings and that everything was good between them, but was telling everyone else that he was over Catherine and was all in on Molly, right? And then Molly did not make matters any better because she kept telling Mitch initially that she was all about him. She still wanted to get to know him. She wasn't entertaining Zach like that. And then she switched up and then started to say, okay, she is entertaining Zach and wants to get to know Zach, but would say in the confessionals that she was completely done with Mitch, but to his face would still entertain whatever was taking place. And that is why he keeps having these meltdowns and keeps saying that he is done with Molly, only to completely, retract those statements and look like a fool, the next go around. And it is so frustrating to watch. But my question is Molly a production plant, right? Because we honestly do not know, outside of the Zach and Mitch drama, as to why ultimately the girls do not like her and why ultimately most of the men do not like her and do not see it for her, right? And it seems as though the girls have all formed a bond, especially the OGs, sans Molly. And so that is very interesting. And I'm wondering, if some of these dumped Islanders are going to address it as they appear on AfterSun or on some of these podcast interviews that they are going to be doing, when it's all said and done, because it is very weird behavior. But the thing is, it is so bad that production had to bring in actual allies, actual friends for Molly. Because if you guys do not know, one of the latest bombshells, Leah, she actually is a real life friend of Molly, you guys. A real life friend of Molly. And I thought originally Leah was going to be in there to cause like trouble and create like a love triangle with Mitch and Molly, and they were going to kind of go back and forth. But no, because that is not her type. Her type is Tyreek, right? And her ex, Danny. Those are her type. So ultimately, she literally is there to be a friend to Molly because nobody likes her, right? And so I ask, how long is production going to prolong this nonsense, right? How long is this going to continue for? It is one thing if, Molly is going to give us some content on the show and just make it worth our while. But if it is going to be the same song and dance, the same back and forth, and the same nonsense that's currently taking place on the show on Molly Island, I'm not here for it. And she is better off voted out of the villa if these shenanigans are going to continue, right? So I just need to know, like, what is going to happen moving forward, because it was very obvious that production told Mitch to pick Molly at the recoupling. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to that, right? Because it did not make sense for Mitch to say how done he was with Molly, only to pick her when it was all said and done, right? That should have been set up immediately for him to choose Ruchi or Ella to be in a friendship couple if he was truly done with Molly. And it seems to me that production did not want to take the risk of Molly actually being eliminated because nobody in that villa liked her. So that very much was giving that production told Mitch to make sure that he chooses her, right? When it's all said and done. Even though outside of Molly, there was like zero connections that Mitch has. And Molly pretty much has told Mitch in so many ways she is done with him. In fact, on the latest episode, she decided to sleep outside in the daybed because she didn't want to even be next to him. And, you know, was hoping Zach would come out there with her. And he said no thanks. He said no thanks, right? And so I'm just wondering, how long is this going to go, right? Because they did the same thing with Olivia last season. The hate against her in the villa was kind of mixed. So it wasn't as bad as it is this season as far as what Molly is. But ultimately, no matter what, Olivia kept staying in the villa. She kept staying in the villa. She kept beating, you know, the charges, the allegations. She kept, you know, staying in and in and in until people started to actually like her. Until people started to like her, and then they didn't want her to go when she finally was eliminated, because by that point, you know, she pretty much had served her purpose. There was like no more drama really to orchestrate at that point. But I am just hoping that we can nip something in the bud here, right? Even if it's to get rid of Mitch, right? Because if it's Molly or nothing, and Molly keeps telling you that she doesn't want you, she wants Zach, and she wants anyone else but you, what is the point, right? What is the point if you're not interested in anyone else? And then what is the end game here with Molly, right? Is she a shoo-in for the finals? This is why all of these things are happening? This is why they're focusing more on anytime Jess or somebody, you know, talks spicy about Molly? Is this like setting up for the sympathy edit? Like, I just need to understand how far we are going to take this and how much of a production plant Molly truly is, because it is giving nepotism, it is giving favoritism. And the issue that I have with this overall is this actually is an amazing cast, you guys. Specifically, the OGs are killing it, even though Ty really is the main guy who's carrying the show on his back. So I know he's tired, right? But really, all of the women have something to offer, have something to give as far as content, as far as storylines. And it's unfortunate that every single time we keep thinking we're going to get a quality episode, it turns into Molly Island. And a lot of us are tired. We are tired of the back and forth with Zach and Mitch. Just choose somebody and let it go. Like, make it make sense. And then we're going to have another bombshell that comes in tomorrow that also is going to surprise, like Molly, right? So it's like, again, and I feel like what's happening now is these bombshells are going to purposely target Molly, and they're going to target Tyreek and now Leah, because those seem to be the people that are not only getting the most screen time, but who everybody seems to be into, right? And so ultimately, like, what does this mean for the rest of the Islanders, right? It means that the rest of them are going to be picked off one by one by one, because we're not going to see any growth in any of their connections as long as Molly is the focus, and as long as we are being force-fed Molly 24/7. That is going to basically take away from the other couples, so that, because how are we supposed to assess whether or not Kat and Andre are actually a romantic couple, if they actually are progressing towards anything, if we never see them, right? If we are being force-fed Molly Island all the time, right? How are we supposed to know if Whitney and Mindy will ever go beyond a friendship couple and lead to something romantic if we do not see them outside of them providing messy commentary like the Twitter users and basically saying what we think about the episode, right? Or what's going on in the villa. So that's my issue, is that we're taking a lot of way. Like, this show has the potential to be one of the best seasons ever, like across the board, across all of the franchises, and potentially even better than some of the earlier seasons of the UK versions. And I just feel like the production team is really sabotaging the show, and it's not fair. because you have amazing content, you know, with Tyreek and Ella. You have amazing content, you know, with this Jess versus Molly situation. You have content with Kat and, you know, whatever the resolve is with her and Zach, and whether or not she still has any feelings for Andre. Like, there's just so many different potential storylines that we can have to have a well-rounded 42 minutes of a show, but instead we are focused in on Molly Island, and at some point we have to stop it or people are going to tune out of the show, and they are going to continue to drag the show like they've been doing, right? Because ultimately we want to see a fair show for everyone, and we get it. There are some storylines that take precedence over others, but as soon as it keeps turning into Molly Island, you're going to turn off your audience, right? You're going to turn off the viewers with the shenanigans. So there is that. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.